Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Shay. In today's video we are going to have a character spotlight, and it is one of all of our favorite character. I would think it would be Jesus. Imagine somebody saying that is not my favorite character. I don't even like Jesus like that. That is blasphemy. Anyways, we will be talking about putting a spotlight on the character of Jesus. And he is played by, I don't want to say his name wrong, Jonathan Roumie. Please don't come at me in the comments. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. But his performance in The Chosen was chef's kiss. Let me say something. Aside from knowing that he had long hair like wool, are you thinking, is he black? Because they say he had wool hair. Is he a woman? But then you'd be like, well, nah, he's not. Child, I'm not going to get into that because I don't want no arguments in this comment box. But from what we thought Jesus looked like and moved, I feel like Jonathan did a great interpretation of Jesus. He was super relatable. He made Jesus super relatable. We saw him laugh. We saw him cry. We saw him get serious. Let me tell you, some of them moments where he cracked jokes and I found myself laughing and sitting back like, that's funny. Like, Jesus probably really was like that with his disciples. Like, real talk, like, this is his family. With any family, you have a leader, but at the end of the day, like, that's still family. There's still a connection there outside of trying to teach me something that will live long. We still build a connection off of laughter, off of eating, off of walking these miles to get to these destinations. Child. In the scene, what was it? Season 4, when they sat down and they were eating a meal after Lazarus brought Lazarus back. When they were sitting there eating the meal and the Pharisee came in, a couple of them, and he was just like trying to talk to them. The way in which he brought out such compassion for the Pharisee, but also was just like checking him at the same time. He was like, what is it that you want for me to be? What did you expect the Messiah to be? And the Pharisee I expected him to be rich. I expected him to do all these things. And Jesus plainly said, listen, well, I'm sorry, I wasn't living up to your potential. He didn't say potential, but that's essentially what he meant. Thank you, Holy Spirit. It's like, he brought out so much relatability in knowing that, yes, this is the Messiah. This is the Messiah. Yes, he is the one that's going to bring us back to the promised land. He is going to save our people. But at the end of the day, he's still human. Like, when have you showed up and somebody thought you was somebody else or something else, and in your head you was like, my bad. Like, it is what it is. This is what you get. Like, sorry. So a lot of those dinner scenes brought how family actually are. And another thing that really touched my heart and made me just see that, yeah, he is human at the end of the day. Well, not anymore, but he was human, was when, what season was that? I want to say 2 or 3. I don't remember, but when he was healing all the people and like the guys were sitting there arguing and like, Simon again coming after Matthew because Matthew never apologized and all that stuff, and they're sitting there arguing about frivolous things because all of us have a past, right? Everybody has a past, but God, Jesus still welcomes us in. But while they're arguing, Jesus just comes walking in, looking defeated, looking just tired. But he still smiles at them and says, good night. And then his mom, oh bless her heart, goes to clean his feet. And his acting is so powerful. There's certain actors who they just embody the parts really well. So at the end of the day, that makes me sit down and think like, how's he doing now? Because they just said they wrapped up season 5, but it's just like, how is he mentally? I should watch a couple interviews of him, because I can only imagine how he is mentally. That has to be a draining role to take on, because he does such good, the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, and you knowing what's gonna come at the end. It's an emotional roller coaster, and he plays it well. He plays it absolutely well. Number 2 is the portrayal of compassion and empathy. He showed, we know Jesus to be compassionate, obviously, because he healed all these people. But let's just dive a little deeper. Some of the people that he chose to be his disciples, quote unquote, weren't really, in the eyes of everybody else, good people. Matthew, he was tax leaner for his own people. Simon was like meant to kill King Herod. He was training to be a killer, a murderer. The other Simon, who's Peter, was like ultimately almost like a thief, because he took shortcuts. There's just a lot of people, a lot of disciples who just weren't doing the right thing, and God shows so much empathy and compassion for them. One of the things that I really enjoyed about this character is that when Mary Magdalene, her second time leaving, right, she came back and her head was down, and Jesus just looked at her like, it's okay. Like, I'm glad that you're back. Like, it's fine. We all have hiccups, but the fact that you came back is all that really matters to me. And let me tell y'all something. That moved me so much, because I often think, as growing in my faith, like, if I take a step back, if something happens that gets me out of character, if I do something that's not appropriate, is he going to turn his back on me? Is he going to be like, and things like this shows me that the Holy Trinity has my back. Like, they almost expect for me to mess up, but if I just continue to just go back and align myself back with the Spirit, he's there, open arms. And in this show, it showed so much compassion for him. Like, the guy who had leprosy, is that what it's called? How he just allowed him to walk up to him. He didn't banish him. He didn't push him away like, ew, yuck. While the other disciples was like, hey, back up. He was so nice with him, like, come, it's okay. He looked into your eyes. He gave good eye contact. It just shows how much he cared, how much he valued you. Even though you did not value yourself, he valued you. This character is so moving for me, because you know Jesus to love everybody, but to see it in almost like real time and like more dated. Oh, I love it. Another thing, I wrote it down. When it had like relatable emotions and reactions, his character and Jesus portrayed was when he showed so much like frustration, like how a parent is with their kid. Like, I keep teaching you guys these things. I'm essentially telling you what is going to happen. He said it 3 times. And he said it 3 times. I feel like if I was there, I would have asked him, hey, what you mean stoned and not gonna be here? What you talking about, Willis? Like, a lot of the time it flew over their head, but the one person who got, well, there are 3 people who actually got it. Thaddeus, little James, and Mary Magdalene. The 3 of them, I believe, got it from the Jump Street, but they didn't say much, but I believe they got it. But I just love the relatability that it showed, because he showed contentment. He showed being upset, disappointment. It's just like when the Big James and John, when they were like, let's strike them down. He looked at them like, you want the God above to strike these people down with thunder because you don't like them? They don't like you. So you want them to, you think it's okay for you to die because they don't like you? Like, what are we talking about? Y'all have followed me all this time and this is where your mindset goes? Two brothers again asked to be at his head table sitting right next to him, and in his head he was like, and he said it out loud, he was like, do you not get anything that I'm saying? Are you ready for all these things that are going to happen to me, essentially me? Because if you sit next to me at the head, this is going to happen to you as well. And they're looking at him in such confusion, and he's just like, no offense, he's pissed because he's like, y'all are not getting it. And I think he even told his mom that, like, what is wrong with them? And he told his mom and Lazarus this complete frustration. And I got it because parents are often, and that's our parent, listen, they're often upset when they're trying to teach us things. They say cut and dry, and we still go out there and do other things. And it was just so relatable because I could feel like if I was a parent, like if I'm teaching my child something and you still doing something else, or you talking about, like, did you hear anything that I just said? Child, what is wrong with you? And Lazarus and his mom was like, but they're human. Like, it takes them a while. You have to be patient. Maybe talk to them a little different. And his response to both of them was like, but I'm human too. Nah, fam, now we not gonna do that, Jesus. Now, you my homeboy, but we ain't finna do that. You are different, my guy. Why we try to act like you not different? Yes, you human, but nah, calmate, please. I love how he showed mentorship and patience when it came to Matthew, when he was talking on the mountain to all those people, right? And Matthew kept asking, like, I don't understand what you're saying. You speak in parables and I don't get it. Like, what does this mean? What does that mean? Like, some people are not going to understand what you're taking, i.e. me. Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you talking about? And instead of getting frustrated and being like, dude, just listen, just write down what I'm saying. Like, take away yourself. He ain't do all of that. You feel what I'm saying? He was really patient. Matthew said, but and then if you do this and if you do that, what about this? And Jesus was like, well, if you do this and you do that, and this comes about it, then that happens. And Matthew was like, oh. It just showed how much patience he had, even with Thomas. Because Thomas asked 1,000,001 questions. Like, he believed him to a certain extent, but everything else, he just questioned him so much. I know me, I would be completely irritated. Like, dude, I just answered your question. I literally just showed you all this stuff and you're still questioning me? Jesus ain't do none of that. He was so calm and patient with these people. Even when Rima died and the father was like cursing at him and wishing him death and all kind of stuff, he was just like, we grieve with you. We love Rima as well. I'm sorry. And he didn't get combative with him. Nothing. That just showed me as a human, like, I can't be Jesus. There's no way. But I can strive to be as close to him by just like taking it easy on people, being patient, being more compassionate, not so quick to judge, not so quick to turn to anger, not so quick to turn my back. Just, because Jesus didn't do that with us. He still isn't doing it with us. But just this character just showed me so much more than just the miracles and the wonders that he did. Unlike now, and just the climate that we are currently in, people are against each other for different parties, different races, different reasons. And Jesus, even back then it was like that. And Jesus, he never turned his back on anybody. Fishermen, to Roman officials, it didn't matter. He still showed compassion and respect to everyone, and he still truly loved. You could tell from how Jonathan Roumie played Jesus that you could tell that he just loved everyone and he wanted to give out a message. And sometimes he had to be stern with it because you're not going to disrespect my father, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to turn my back on you because one day you'll get it. And hopefully you get it sooner than later, but one day you'll get. He knew that one day you'll get it. And he just talked to everyday people. It just wasn't like, these are my people, Jews. These are my people, and these are who I'm going to stick with. It was never that. Ultimately, Jonathan Roumie's portrayal of Jesus made it more modernized. So Jesus' gentle and powerful ways in which he touched all of us, and some of us still don't get it, but it made us feel a little closer to Jesus by watching this, because it made it more relatable. Even though he was this all-powerful being, he didn't throw it in our faces. Some people be doing, they have power, and not make us feel smaller than him. He wanted all of us to be with him when we pass over. He wants all of us there. And this character showed such true faith, religion, people coming together. Like, Jonathan Roumie did an amazing job. I know there's a few things that I probably missed out on, but ultimately this character, this portrayal of Jesus by this man, Jonathan Roumie, was just great. I can't see anybody else playing this role. He just paid so much attention to detail. You could tell from the way that he walked, the way he carried his head, how he talked to people, how he interacted with his mom. It just made us feel like we were there. And even though we read the stories in the Bible, it still rounded it all together for some people like me who are all new to this. So if I left anything out, let me know in the comment box below. What about this character of this portrayal of Jesus by Jonathan Roumie did you enjoy? What also did you enjoy about the character of Jesus, period? Like, how did it make you feel? What did you learn that you didn't know anything about? Leave it in the comment box below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.